Hello, dear students. Welcome to International Politics lesson. This is Chapter 6. We'll study radicalization and terrorism shaping international politics. Okay, let's have a look at our outline. By the end of this lesson, you will understand some of the main concepts in the literature about radicalization, violent extremism, and terrorism. You will comprehend the variety of motivations of radical and terrorist groups throughout the history and beyond boundaries. You will acknowledge the increasing awareness about the important roles both women and youth can play within this context. You'll have an overall idea about the historical roots of radicalization and terrorism. And finally, you will realize the significance of the virtual online world for radical, violent, extremist and terrorist groups and the people, institutions, groups trying to challenge them. And you can see the chapter outline. It starts with introduction and some definitions of radicalization and extremism and terrorism and variations of terrorism, radicalization, cyber world in women and youth issue, challenge of rehabilitation, the challenging balance between security and human rights. Okay, and some key terms are as follows: radicalization, violent extremism, terrorism, push and pull factors, anarchism, Generation D, rehabilitation. Okay, radicalization, violent extremism, and terrorism. Here are some brief definitions of these concepts and push and pull factors. Okay, structural motivators, push factors are repression, corruption, unemployment, inequality, discrimination, history of hostility between identity groups, external state interventions in the affairs of other nations. And the pull factors are sense of purpose, adventure, belonging, need for acceptance, status, material enticement, fear of repercussion from violent groups, expected rewards in the afterlife, and it goes on. And the enabling factors are extremist mentors, access to extremist online communities, social networks with VE associations, access to weapon or other relevant items, lack of state influence, and absence of family support. Radicalization, violent extremism and terrorism, the internet, social media, and cybercrime and terrorism is our next topic. As you know, the internet, social media, and cybercrime is increasing day by day in 21st century. Maybe 20 years ago, we didn't know anything about what cybercrime was. The virtual world, and particularly use of social media and the internet, provided radical, violent extremists and terrorist groups with a significant leverage and the tool of propaganda. They can convey their messages more cheaply and easily to vast amounts of people, reinforce such messages with visual or audio content. Moreover, through hackings, they can also benefit from illegal money transfers, and therefore actors fighting them should also make good of use of virtual world if they don't want to lose fight on the virtual front of importance gradually increase. Our next topic is women's role in radicalization and violent extremism. Okay, women and youth play and can further play important roles within the context of radicalization, violent extremism, and terrorism. They are not only the subjects of radical counter-propaganda, also seen as an important pool of human resources for such groups. In that light, in the fight against radical and violent extremists and terrorist groups, they can also play quite significant roles since they can frequently understand the threat more directly and respond to it more effectively. And short definitions are like this. De-radicalization is a cognitive process with goal of cutting the link between its target audience with radical ideas. Disengagement refers to the process of making the individual abandon the active organization in which he or she either took part in violent acts or not. Rehabilitation is a cognitive process which can be reinforced by social cultural activities aiming at regaining an individual in a way that he or she can reintegrate into the society. Dear students, this is the end of our lesson, chapter 6. See you. Take care.